Welcome back to an episode of Full Circle, post All-Star edition. Lexie, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm refreshed. I did not make it to Indianapolis, but lucky for us, Mariah did. So she's going to give us the inside scoop, the tea, everything that y'all may not have seen online, which was basically nothing, thanks to the stud buds.
Right.
So it looked like a time. I will say there were
I'm
moments.
not going to lie. Angel wasn't lying when she said that we turned Indy into Miami,
which
for
is
sure.
funny, which I'm like, have y'all really actually spent, I mean, I guess on Rivals in Miami, but I was like, I don't know. Miami's a different type of beast, but I've heard from multiple
so
people
different.
that Indianapolis showed up and showed out. So that's good to hear.
They did.
That's good to hear.
It was a lot of fun. And the game itself was packed. It was absolutely popping. I kept hearing people say when I got back, there was all these misconceptions, I felt like, when I got back about what the game was actually like. The game was packed full, loud. There were jerseys of every player, any player, players that weren't even playing in the game. People were interested in all kinds of things. People were having a great time and absolutely loved it. Obviously, there was some fans that were disappointed about Caitlin not playing. I was a little disappointed because I was in Indy and I did want to see that. But the energy actually there didn't give that.
Yeah.
But then when I got home because I was working so hard while I was there, but when I got home and I actually got to check the internet, I was like, wait.
The internet's not a real place.
Everybody's talking like.
Internet's not a real place.
No, it's not.
I don't know how many more ways.
Everybody was being so negative.
Yeah. I think that what this season has shown us is that the internet is not a real place. Which we already knew that. Everybody knows that. The internet is the internet. Twitter is Twitter. Reddit is Reddit. Instagram, like, these are all like little mini universes. But at the end of the day, real life is what matters and what's important. And that's where the money is. Like, that's where the people are. That's where the interactions are. So I'm glad that you're saying that because you are a person that works in the social media space. So you have no choice but to be chronically online. So I'm sure that sometimes you can get a little wrapped up in like, oh my gosh, it is so negative. But it definitely has adjusted my mindset getting off Twitter completely to see like, there's really not that much negativity if you're not on the internet. So.
Oh, not at all. The real life is so much more positive. I just got done making a 10-minute video about all of the details as to why WNBA players deserve to make more money because I was so tired of my comments that I spent all morning researching that. Because when I say the fans in the arena, I don't know how it sounded on TV or what people really had to say about it online, but the ceremony at the end, as soon as the game ended, the ceremony at the end, the pay them chants, I have a video of it. I need to post it. It was insane. Yeah. And I didn't see it coming. I don't know if everybody had a meeting without me planning on doing that. I was like, wow, it was loud.
But it's like you made the best point on your TikTok when you're like, when you're doing a job that you've done for a long time, you're doing a good job, you've made the company better while you've been working there, ask for a raise. Like, that's like
100%.
Simple, like daily life. I hope everybody feels that way about their jobs that they're in, their careers that they're in. We're not asking for anything outrageous. And I think that's where people get, they go on their little tangents. It's like, oh, well, the people, I mean, first of all, they use every single person uses the same argument over and over. Oh, they lose money, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, show me. Tell me. Okay, like we're not asking to get paid $30-40 million a year. We're literally asking for like 3 more percentage points of a revenue split, like minimum.
Lexie, I know you love numbers. Can I give you a couple numbers that I learned this morning?
Let's do it.
Number one, if at max, all 156 WNBA players were making the league average $102,000 a year before taxes as their salary, the WNBA is spending in total $16 million on player salary. They just signed a $200 million media rights deal. So that's that. Number two, that isn't a livable wage in most of the cities that the WNBA operates in, especially the league minimum. Okay? And number three, the WNBA, while people might not see WNBA players as valuable as NBA players, I can assure you a WNBA player is just as valuable to the operation of the WNBA as an NBA player is to the operation of the NBA.
Yeah.
There is no league without the players. So I don't, the players asking for more money is like more than valid. And the WNBA, compared to what they're bringing in, they just brought in $75 million from investors. They've got the money to double, triple, quadruple that little measly 16 million they're spending on their most important asset, which is the players.
And when you like put it in a perspective like that, the amount of visibility, the amount of endorsements, the amount of off the court work that we have to put in just to keep the league relevant, to keep, these checks coming in the off season, because it is a very long off season. Like you see like a lot of male athletes, they're sponsored by Gatorade or Nike or State Farm. And you might see them like post one video a year that they probably didn't even post. They just showed up, read their little lines and paid someone to post it for them. Like, at least in my experiences, everything that I do, at least content, endorsement, brand, it's like you're very involved. And I don't know if that's a woman versus man thing, if that's like a personal thing that I do, because I do like to be involved. I like my content and I like working with brands that align with like how I feel and things that I believe in. So I don't know if that's like just a Lexie thing, but y'all know that most WNBA players, most female athletes in general make more money off of their field, off of the court than they do on it. So yeah, if we want to get paid a little bit more for what has gotten us here, what the main thing is, which is playing that sport, I don't understand why everybody gets so up in arms about it, because like this is the craft, this is the main thing. But we have to do so many other things in the meantime.
And it would make sense for the WNBA to invest in their number one asset, which are the players, and their production, which is playing in the WNBA, and not having y'all have to do all of this extra stuff to generate income for yourselves. But it would benefit the WNBA to say, hey, I'm going to pay you all this extra bread so that your number one focus in life is WNBA. Not going to play overseas in the off season, not going to play in another league. We want to pay you so well that when you wake up in the morning, you think about the WNBA, and when you go to sleep, you think about the WNBA. And imagine with the level of competition we have now and how incredible the players are now, how that would skyrocket if that were the main thing. Yeah. And it is the main thing for all of y'all, but out of necessity, it has to be put on the back burner sometimes.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I mean, it's like, it's just like it's a slippery slope when you get into these, especially right now in the CBA negotiations. So, okay. So I read an article that there's potential that the WNBA would want all players to prioritize the W, which means no more off-season playing. That means overseas. That means Athletes Unlimited. That means Unrivaled. Any other league that you could possibly play in the off-season, they're, potentially going to be like, okay, y'all want more money? Then no more of that. You're locked into the W 24/7, 365. They're going to have to pay a lot of money to a lot of us for us to just agree. A
lot of money for that.
1, 2. The WNBA is only responsible technically for us while our season is going on. So if you want players to start being in market all year long, wanting us to not pursue other opportunities in other places all year long, every team needs a facility if you're going to do that. Every team needs the resources for it to make sense for players to stay in their markets, which most NBA guys don't stay in market all year long, but a lot of them spend a good amount of time in market. And if they do ever want to spend like a week or 2 weeks in the city that they play in to, tap in with their coaching staff, tap in with their weight training staff, they have a place to go do it. We don't have that. Well, we do. Seattle does, but not every other team has that luxury. So for you to remove these off-court opportunities, to remove these other leagues, to remove these destinations that have gyms, coaching staff, weight training, all these things, because you want us to prioritize. Like, no, they tried the prioritization with the overseas. That did not work. That did not go over well. I think it backfired, honestly. You have a lot of players that chose to stay overseas and not come play in the WNBA because it's not enough money. So that was interesting to hear that, it was, I knew they were lying. We're like, oh, we love our rival. We love AU. No, y'all don't. Y'all want us to focus on this, which we want to focus on the W too, but that's not the reality right now. And it doesn't make sense for a lot of players to do that. So that was very interesting to hear.
They're going to have to give y'all focus on the W money and focus on the W opportunity.
Exactly.
Also, not to mention the fact the roster spots is also another issue. Like, there aren't that many WNBA players, and the WNBA players that there are carrying a heavy load. It's like, it's not easy to be a WNBA player. Right. So with increased teams and games and opportunities and roster spots not increasing, the check has to increase. It just makes sense that's the trajectory at any other company. So I don't know. I hope that things work out but my thing is that at least my opinion, I don't know if you can say this because you're a player, is not only do y'all deserve the money, they're going to have to give it to you. Like,
they have to.
They're going to have to give it. They are going to have to give it to you. Like, what is the WNBA without WNBA players? Get serious. Pay them the money. Find it. Like,
and there's not 150 additional players just hanging out waiting. There is a good amount of players that are not on rosters right now, but not enough to be like, okay, y'all don't want to play? Cool. We're going to bring this group in instead. But the momentum that women's sports and women's basketball is feeling right now, like I just cannot see them being like, nope, whatever, we're gonna lock out. We're not gonna give y'all what y'all want, what y'all deserve. But I mean, the thing about negotiation is there's a happy medium. And it's so crazy comparing this negotiation period to the last CBA negotiation, because the world was so different 5 years ago. Like, our main concern was how we were gonna have a season in 2020 because of COVID. Our priorities was, what are we going to do about women who want to have kids, and what we're going to do about, how they're going to get paid if they're on maternity leave. Like, the way that so many things are different from the last CBA to this CBA is so crazy. And even how more included and involved I'm in these negotiations versus the last negotiations, like, I've learned so much. And I'm really enjoying being in these conversations, even though at times they're a little frustrating. But it also is very interesting seeing how many different experiences and struggles that different players have throughout their career, and that they're bringing them to the table. And they're like, well, what are we going to do about this? Like Diamond, for example, when she got waived from Connecticut, they kind of were just like, okay, pack your shit and go. So one of her things that she always brought up was relocation expenses, which we currently have something in our CBA about it, but it's very minimal. It needs to be more helpful, I feel like, especially if you're someone who moves their entire life to a city because you think you're about to spend 6 months there, and then out of the blue, they're like, oh, you got to go home now, but we are not going to help you with anything. So it's it could be things like relocation, obviously salaries, huge, travel, lot where we stay, any little thing that you guys can even think of that applies to day-to-day living and our jobs. It has to be written in the CBA.
And if it's hard for people to understand in the context of sports, but this is every employment. If I'm working a 9-to-5 at a normal company, they are taking care of things like healthcare and relocation, and sometimes your living expenses. It depends on the company you're working at. And being a WNBA player isn't a 9-to-5 job. It is a full-time, 24/7. You dedicate your life to this.
Right.
Another number I want to throw out there is, I hear the loss thing a lot. That's the biggest argument to it. And if it's hard for you guys to understand in the context of sports or women playing sports, because that seems to be the problem for a lot of people, this is normal for tech companies as well. Reddit operated at a $484 million loss in 2024.
Damn.
$484 million. And an engineering director at Reddit makes upwards of $500,000 a year. And there's a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So if that tells you anything about the WNBA and how the players are not asking for too much,
shit, our entire country,
and even those little things,
our entire country is in debt. Trillions. The entire world, our whole country is losing money every second.
Right?
Where was I?
Exactly.
I think we were in
Find the money.
Were we in New York? I feel like we were in New York. There was some billboard, and it was the nation's debt. And it was just moving.
I've seen those, and it goes up.
just moving.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is crazy, actually, that this is the world
Money
that we
is
live
not
in.
real.
Money is not real. The internet's not real. Are we even real? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
Well, I tell you what is real. The Golden State Valkyries. That's a transition right there.
Period. Segue queen.
Let's talk about who's surging right now. So we're coming off of the All-Star break. We're back into W season. And I want to start off by talking about the Golden State Valkyries, who won 4 of their 5 last games and have a real home court advantage in the Bay. Lexie, tell me what you're seeing from Golden State and what you're looking forward to seeing after the All-Star break.
Well, we finally beat them, which was nice. Guys, I got to play. I played 15 minutes.
Yay!
I scored 7 points. It was very nice. It was my first 3-point make in our home arena the entire year.
How did that feel, Lexie?
It felt good. I mean, I smiled and I was just like, finally, damn. It felt really good to beat them. We, like I said in our last episode, we needed to win that game. And they play they're kind of it's night and day for them, home versus away. And I said that on our last episode. I mean, it wasn't their best offensive game. Shit, it wasn't our best offensive game, but we scored more points than them. I think Tiff Hayes is going to have a better second half of her season. She was dealing with some injuries in the first half, but Kayla Thorne's their leader, but I think Tiff Hayes also has been a little bit overlooked because she's been in and out of the lineup, in and out of games because of injury stuff. But I think if they can get Tiff Hayes going, they're still going to be a very dangerous team. And yeah, they're fun to play against. They sat in a zone against us again, but we kind of figured it out. It was a good way for us to end the first half of the season, but I'm excited to see their development in the second half. They have a lot of young players, a lot of new players in the W. So the grind, once game 30, 35 come around, that's when you kind of start seeing the wheels start falling off some teams. The fatigue kicks in. I mean, to me, they looked tired when we played them. That's what I saw, as did we. But I didn't look or feel tired because I have not been playing a lot. So it was a great opportunity for me, for our team. And they were able to send Kayla Thorne off to All-Star Weekend, which is very exciting for them and in their first season as a WNBA franchise to have an All-Star. So I'm excited for Golden State. Like I always say, I'm a fan of the Valkyries. I'm a fan of Natalie. I'm a fan of their style of play. And I'm a fan of their home court advantage because it's dope what they're doing up there.
I agree. And you guys did beat them. And moving on, I'm going to talk about the Seattle Storm. Shout out to your All-Stars. I just this is so outside of basketball. But number one, I do want to say because I was at the Skills Challenge and I was at the 3-point contest in the game. Skylar is when she's on the court, she looks, number one, so intense. That girl be locked in. And she doesn't seem like she ever is oh, this is just for fun.
Never.
She is not playing at all. Face card never declines. She's eating, she's serving, she's giving model. But she be taking things so serious. I'm I wish I had that. I would probably be much farther in life if I had her competitive edge. That girl don't play.
No, nothing is ever for shits and gigs. Never. But she is she does have that, laid back, goofy side. But you have to
yeah, I saw her making TikToks with people.
Yeah,
and stuff.
so she has both sides, but that's how you're supposed to be when you're at work. That's how you're supposed to be when you're inside those lines. So I really thought she was gonna win. I really did, but she didn't. And neither did Erica. But it's okay. They showed up, they showed out, and it was fun to watch them compete out there. Even though I don't like the rules of the skills challenge, how you don't have to actually complete the skill to move on to the next one. You can miss.
You can mess it up. You just have to go fast.
Yeah. But not too fast or you'll get disqualified like Wemby and Chris Paul did. When they tried to beat the system. So it's a method to the madness. Act like you're trying hard, but really just trying to get through it fast. But yeah, we have a game tonight. Actually, speaking of us, we played Dallas for the 3rd time this season, I think. I think we're 2-0 against them. We're prepared. We're ready. We're excited. They look very different than what they looked like the last time we played them. So we can't really even use those last 2 games as like any type of like I don't even think we watched much film from our first 2 games against them. They have new players. Their rookies have been stepping up and playing really well as of late. Unsure if Dejanay's back. I don't think Maddie Segrist is back either. So like this is a completely different Dallas team. And our coaches told us like they might not have been like don't look at their record. Like they've been in these games. They've been in some very close games, but they're very young. So they've just had young people slippage. But they're a very talented team and they play hard. And they have a lot of players that can just like go get a bucket. And in the past, it's really just been Arike and everybody else. But they have like 3-4 players on this team right now that can just like go get a bucket at any time. So I'm excited to play them. It's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good test for us for sure.
Well, the good news is Nneka and Skylar, 50 combined points across their last 2, and Gabby Williams flying under the radar. Can you give the audience a little bit of a look into her? I know
Gabby?
You wanted to talk a little bit about, yes.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I said when I was campaigning for rookie of the year, for All-Star, her stats might not like jump out at you. I think she's averaging like 13 points per game. I think she's shooting a career high in 3-point percentage right now. But it's just her presence defensively for me that is so important to our team. She's someone that can definitely heat up offensively, hit some, very crucial shots. She can, play on a low shot clock, but it's what she does for us on the defensive end that I think sets her apart from other players at her position. She can guard 1 through 4. I would say Ezzy is our anchor, but if we had like a mini anchor, it's Gabby. She gets the hardest assignment every game. And she never backs down from it. And if someone else starts going off, she's the first person to be like, put me on that person. Like she's that type of intense on defense. And her athleticism is insane. Some of the rebounds she grabs, some of the steals she gets, some of the passes she catches are just, I'm like, what the hell, Gabby? So she's a silent assassin though. Like you might not, even notice that she's on the court and then she'll do something amazing. And you'll be like, oh, there's Gabby. And then you'll look up and she'll have like 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And you're like, what did she do all of that? So she's our, what do we call her? Our French Army knife. It's a Swiss Army knife, but she's French. So we called her that. She's our French Army knife. So, I'm so happy that she got that All-Star nod. She deserved it. And I hope that it's given her some more energy going into the second half of the season because the first half was brutal for everybody. So, but especially for our team, we have a lot of players that log heavy minutes on our team, and they've been doing a great job. So I'm excited for her second half. And she's not flying under the radar no more. So that's over. She can't hide anymore. She's an all-star.
Lexie, I want you to explain to me, because a little BTS, not to give y'all too much, but me and Lexie have a note that we share to talk about, what we're going to talk about in the show, XYZ. And Lexie wanted to talk about the corner 3.
I did.
Okay?
I did.
So Lexie, give us this myth of the corner 3.
Guys, okay. I don't think people understand how hard of a shot the corner 3 is. I don't even have the specific numbers in this note that I'm looking at right now, but I remember when I wrote that because this was a personal investigation because my shooting percentage, even though very limited attempts, it was atrocious. And I was just like, I don't understand. Like, even in these limited attempts, I should be hitting more shots. And then I looked and I was seeing how many corner 3s I was shooting. And then I went back because there's a stat thing online on the WNBA website and the NBA website where you can see people's like shooting percentages by like zone. So
and you can see the colors of their dot where they stand.
So I went and looked on my little shooting zone for the last like few seasons, and almost all of my shots were from the wing to the top of the key. So very few corner 3s. Then when I checked other players who I consider top shooters in our league, almost the same exact thing. Wing to top of the key, very few corner 3s. And then when I went and checked, who's shooting corner 3s? It's like post players. So the corner three, not only is it a very difficult shot, it's closer than the rest of the threes. So for me, I train on an NBA three-point line. So I'm already shooting way farther out, and it doesn't really affect me as much on the wings. When I get to that corner, it's a little bit harder. And then also, because I hit a corner three last game, that's like a three you hit when you like kind of feeling yourself, like you've hit a few shots, like you feel good. But as far as like just running from corner to corner to corner to corner, not really touching the ball, not really having any movement, at least for a shooter like me, that's like the worst shot. That's like the last shot I want to take as my first shot of the game. If I haven't been involved in the offense, I haven't shot a free throw, I haven't really moved around a lot. So most shooters in the WNBA and the NBA that are like high volume 3-point shooters take one or less corner threes a game. I looked that up. So
I
that's a
actually
thing.
think that's interesting because watching the 3-point contest this weekend, I noticed that like Sonia, I believe, and even Sabrina, even though she didn't miss many, but the ones that she did miss were at the corner, like at the very end, like her very last cart were shots that she was missing. Like she was so hot and then she got there and it was like, it looks a little more difficult.
Yeah.
So you can see even in an environment like that, it'll be like, in the middle, it's like hitting, story ball hit, hitting, story ball hit. And then
you
they get to
the
that
corner and you're like,
it's like,
yeah, it's a thing. But you practice corner threes and you shoot corner threes, but there's just not very many offenses and actions that get you those corner three shots. So even when in my workouts, I hit corner threes just to get like reps in. I'll do like, you might get like, if someone like cheats a down screen, you can like fade to the corner, but like that's still like an off the move corner three shot. But most offenses don't have many shots geared to getting just a corner three hit, which is funny because most teams like end a game or game-winning plays are drawn up for someone to like shoot a corner three. So it's a shot that you have to practice, but it's definitely for me like a rhythm shot. So like when I made the corner three last game, I had already made one and then I had shot two others. So that felt good and looked good. So like at that point I was like, all right, let me just shoot. I'm open. Let me just shoot it. And it went in. So definitely a mindset, reps, but that corner three, like we shooters, even Steph Curry, y'all can go look at Steph Curry, best shooter ever to play basketball. He don't shoot a lot of corner threes. If you watch his highlights, you are not going to see that man shooting many corner threes. He's going to maybe start in the corner, but he come into that wing or he come into the middle.
That's a great point. So. He's like from the corner to the next corner to the back to the front to the logo.
Right. He's all over the place.
Running around the
court. That's funny that you noticed that in the 3-point contest because like that's a real thing. So if you can hit corner threes though, they say corner threes get you paid. They absolutely do. But not if you're like a high volume shooter. You don't frequent the corners very much. But yeah, so thanks Mariah for letting me have my corner three TED Talk.
No, I'm glad. I mean, some of the most iconic basketball shots I could think of, now that you mention it, game-winning wise, are corner, like the Kawhi shot against
the Ray Allen shot.
76ers. Yeah, exactly. Like they're very iconic shots. So I guess you need to be able to hit them at the right time.
But they were all like moving. Like they weren't just like sitting in the corner like
right. They're like falling back.
Yeah, Kawhi was falling. Ray Allen was backpedaling. Like
right.
So yeah, when you have those corner threes as an elite shooter, like
they're like Hail Marys.
Yeah, they're Hail Marys. You're usually moving. But yeah, so shout out to the corner three. We love you, but
that gives me a new appreciation
for people who shoot corner threes.
Yes, as someone who loves to watch basketball with a lot of threes, I'm like, you could dunk 87 times, and I'm like, cool girl. Like I
Where
love
the threes at?
Threes.
So, okay, we're going to go back. Before we get into, the second half of the season, since we're talking about threes, I do want to talk a little bit more about All-Star real quick. Did you like the 4-point shot or was it too many threes being shot? Because I will tell you exactly how many threes were taken in the All-Star game.
Okay. I'm going to be real, and I just want the audience of Full Circle to know I'm taking a big risk because AT&T Signed your girl's checks. However, I will say, not the fault of the 4-point shot itself, but I do think, okay, generally, let me just keep it a beat in a buck with you, Lexie. The actual game itself, I was like, what?
It's okay. We're gonna get
into
that. We're gonna get into that in a second. We're gonna get into that. I just wanted to know.
But the threes,
yes.
I was like, I think it was more of an effort thing than it was just the 4-point shot existing thing. I was like, ladies,
enough.
Let's be serious. I started watching Ellie the Elephant.
I actually stopped watching the game, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I turned that shit off.
Did you see Paige Becker's interview?
Yes.
About what Gino would say if he was watching?
I'm Gino. We were all Gino at home. I'm sure in the arena, it was a blast. Everyone was having a great time, good vibes. On the couch, actually, I was watching on my phone. I was like, I turned it on like midway through the first quarter, and I saw the score, and I was like, I knew this was gonna happen with that damn 4-point shot. But that wasn't even the problem. Like you said, it was the just overall lack of effort for the most part. But like, it's still an All-Star game. So I'm speaking from someone who understands what All-Star weekend is, all the obligations, all of the events. There's so much going on. By the time the game comes, these players are ready to get the fuck. Like, they're like, this is our last thing. We're here for the fans. We want to have a good time. But I think it was like, they were too, like, let's have a good time. They shot 123s were shot.
Jesus Christ.
Out of 211 total shots. So for me, as a fan, spectator, I want the 4-point shot gone. I want it gone. Nneka did give me a cute little fun fact, though. She said that the last time they had the 4-point shot, it was farther back. So if y'all are going to keep that, put it back. Put it back to where it was at. Because I was like, that's why I told Nneka, I was like, everyone looked way too comfortable shooting that 4-point shot. So obviously it wasn't that far. People were shooting it off the bounce.
I think there should just be two. There should be one right in front of the logo on one side and one right in front of the logo on the other side.
Both.
And it should be like a logo shot. And it should be really hard to do. It should not be like that easy.
Okay, now that we're here, I have some critiques and improvements that could potentially make both the WNBA and the NBA All-Star game better. One, no more of that, the hockey substitutions. Take that out. Sub like normal. I think they did the hockey substitutions because there is like a lack of stoppage in play because there's like no fouling or anything like that. So maybe like build in like stop, like just have like the substitution stoppage of play. So be like, oh, this like a media, like when the medias come, like do something just for the subs. Cause that hockey substitution was crazy. I didn't like that. I don't like that they didn't have free throws. Like that didn't really have to be a rule. Cause like I said, they don't really foul anyway. But if you do get fouled, like you should go like shoot a free throw because that's basketball. I agree with you with the 4-point shot. Either take it out, push it back, or just have one on each side, but in the same spot on each side. My biggest thing that I feel like would make the All-Star game like just next level, and this sounds expensive. I don't know how much LED lights on a court cost.
Oh, God.
My idea is to have a court that lights up and you have different spots on the court light up. And then that's like, it has like a point value on it. But you can only get that point value when it lights up. So for example,
they could do that from the top.
But then how would the players see it? Oh, like do it like with lights?
No, I'm saying like a spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm
kind of like they do with, this is electronic, but kind of like they do with like the Skims ad, you know?
Yeah. So I'm
like they put it on the side.
I'm like, there just need, like this game is going to continue to be less and less unserious because...
That's what I thought.
It's like
the NBA did do this.
They put
and
the
it
LED.
was a mess.
They put the LED lights on the court.
Yes.
Let me see.
It wasn't last year. It was the year before that. And it was in a football stadium, I think. And I don't know if it was for the actual game. I'm pretty sure it was for the skills challenge, the 3-point contest. I was there. And it was chaotic.
Let me see. Okay, All-Star 2024.
It was 2023, I think.
Because I'm like, I just opened up an article. Let me see.
Because 2024 was...
It was for the celebrity game and for the Saturday night.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's too much. We don't want the entire floor to be LED. We want... like, because I'm looking at the video right now.
He'll make it LED.
Yeah, guys, like that's too much. That's too much.
It was ridiculous.
So we don't need all of that.
Here's my opinion on the All-Star game on both sides. I think that what they're missing is what makes sports so great. And that's number one, the simplicity of the game just being what it is. Like they take it way too far, like no free throws, silly. Like that makes it not a basketball game already.
Exactly.
That's silly to me. It needs to be a basketball game. Quit changing the rules, quit changing the timing, basketball game. They need to change the stakes. I'm sorry. The stakes need to change. The players need to want to win.
Exactly.
If the players don't want to win, if there's no incentive for them to win, of course they're not going to care.
Because I'm like...
But I can guarantee you, they'll figure out a way to win that game.
Because I'm just like, yeah, money for us, that could, but we're not really even seeing that in Commissioner's Cup, like for us. Like, I feel like some teams want to win Commissioner's Cup, but it's like, even with the money on the line, the league as a whole has not made the Commissioner's Cup like this insane, high stakes part of our season like they have done with the play-in tournament. And those guys already are making millions of dollars. And they've made that little $500,000, like, mind you, each. $500,000 each. We split that. I don't even know how much we split, but they get $500,000 each. And to some of those guys, and the thing is, I think the best thing that they did was they did focus on like the two-way guys or the rookie contract guys where that money like still means a lot to them. Like I still think it means like $500,000 means a lot to anybody. But for someone who's making $35 million a year,
not to LeBron.
Like, right, you get the $500,000. But they've still made it a way to where like even that first year when Bron and them won, like the fact that Bron like acted like that was the NBA Finals was like the best shit ever. Like he doesn't need that $500,000.
Right. And he attributed it to his teammates that aren't making what he makes.
Exactly.
And that money could literally change their lives. So I think that the biggest things, at least from my experience interviewing athletes, working with athletes,
money.
The biggest thing to get them to care is number one, money. And number two, you're going to hate this one just like every athlete I feel like hates it. Is playoff implications. Yes, I'm sorry. Those are the two biggest ways to get athletes to care.
I just feel like, and I feel like the most fair implication you could get for playoffs is whoever wins that team, whoever's representing the East or the West, whatever team wins, East or West, gets home court advantage in the finals. I don't know. I feel like that's
what the MLB did.
Yeah,
that's what the MLB did.
I feel like that's the best way to fairly have playoff implications. But for us, I'm like, even the way some players in our league like don't really bat an eye for the Commissioner's Cup money. I wanted that money so bad. I was so sick when we lost that Golden State game because if we won that game, we would have been in the championship for the Commissioner's Cup. And I was sick about it, but everyone kind of was just like, whatever, next game. And I was just like, no. Like that money was just like right there, and even if you don't win, you still get a check. So I don't know what it is.
I'm so competitive. I hate losing anything.
You know what it is?
Anything.
It's so funny because the money you get for being an All-Star is nothing in the W. So they need to fix that. You get more money for winning the skills contest and the 3-point contest. It's like 30 times more.
I didn't know that. That don't make no sense.
Yeah. Because it's not from the league, it's from AFLAC. So they were like, they just matched what the NBA does. And that the Players Association did that. That wasn't a WNBA thing. That was a Players Association thing that got the sponsorship for the skills.
I remember. I saw this when I was making
contest.
my 10-minute video earlier.
Yeah, so we did that, or they did that, which was amazing. You saw how competitive it was last year with the USA team and the All-Stars. So I don't
Yes.
know. For women though, it's like it's more of an ego thing too than people give us credit for. So
100%.
it was funny seeing how competitive those, like every 4 years, we're in the WNBA, you're gonna get a super competitive All-Star game because every 4 years is the Olympics. So you can at least count on that from our league. But these are some of my other revamp ideas, not for the game, just for the weekend in general. I think they need to just include more challenges that will also include more players. So that would be good for us for as far as visibility, and then it would be more enjoyable for the fans. I thought maybe a horse game could be fun.
I love that.
Knockout could be fun. One-on-one, obviously everybody wants that now after seeing how dope it was in Unrivaled.
Unrivaled had it.
And then there's a shooting game that everybody stands around the 3-point line, and every shot you make, points go into a bank. So say every shot is worth 10 points. So I shoot 10 points if I make it. Then if you shoot and you get 10 and you make it, that's 10 more points. So every time someone makes it, points get added to the bank. And then if you miss, you get all the points. So having a game maybe like that. So I don't know, maybe more skills challenges, more fun challenges to get more players involved.
What we eat?
What?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Y'all have to play this in basketball, but in volleyball, do y'all play Queen of the Court?
Yes.
Okay, that would eat to me. Like if y'all were playing, I don't know if it's one-on-one or if
it's
it were
like
3-on-3 or whatever it was, but like I would like for it to be one-on-one, and like the person who wins gets to stay, and at the end they get some crazy prize, and y'all bring in a brand to like pay for the prize, and it'd be something crazy. Like imagine one girl like staying there tearing everybody
so
up.
like it would be different from the Unrivaled one-on-one. It wouldn't be like bracket style. It would just be like queen of the court. So it would be just continuous one-on-one against a bunch of different people.
Eat
something. We got to do something because
I do like USA versus World that the men's is going to do this year.
Interesting.
That is going to be good. Even though our Team USA All-Star representatives will be a little on the elder side. I don't think Adam thought of that.
He did.
Steph, LeBron, KD. But
the old heads.
However, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. So shout out to WNBA All-Star Weekend. I might have to go next year. As a player, as a spectator.
Do we know where it's going to be yet?
Next year? I'm not sure where it is next year. So
I know NBA is going to be in LA.
So I'll be there for sure. Well, actually, I might not be because I was during AU, so maybe not. But yeah, shout out to All-Star Weekend. It was a time. I enjoyed watching it.
It was fun.
From the internet, and it was definitely the most meme-worthy, hilarious All-Star Weekend I've ever seen in my life. So shout 100%. Out to the girly pops.
Shout out to Stud Buds.
Shout out to the Stud Buds because y'all definitely made that weekend what it was. So I see y'all getting all the things already. That streaming universe is something else. So shout out for y'all for taking a risk, betting on yourselves, and going to do that streaming shit because it's paying off, and it paid off big time during All-Star Weekend. So shout out to the Stud Buds. Let's get into
free promo for the league.
Right,
another reason pay them what they deserve.
No, exactly.
Who do you think is going to be making that second half leap, Lexie?
I'm trying to be unbiased here. But right now, I'm going to be very biased towards my own team. I think we are going to make a leap. We've been very average in our standards for the first half of the season, but we've set goals for ourselves for Q1, Q2, Q3. So we saw improvement from Q1 to Q2. So we want to improve, obviously, in this next group of 11, 12 games of our season. Adding Tiffany Mitchell has been great for us. Now we have a full roster, essentially. I'm excited to see potentially the opportunities that Dom gets for us. For her, this season has definitely probably been frustrating, up and down for her with her opportunities and lack of opportunities. But again, that's like the course of a season and a career. But she's been working really hard and staying really positive. So I'm excited for her second half. And then, like I said, using the All-Star weekend, that energy, that weekend to propel our All-Stars, for the second half of the season. And hopefully they don't crash out because the wear and tear of a season is a lot. But we have a very solid team that's ready to support them and be ready to play all these games and win these games. So I'm really excited for our team. Another team that I'm excited about is the Liberty, who made a very, very impactful move. I think it was today or yesterday, with the signing of Emma Mieseman. There were rumblings and grumblings of her return to the W this summer, but we were not sure where she would land, and she has landed in New York with the Liberty, the defending champs, which, how did this happen? I don't know. But it's always good to have a finals MVP playing in this league. So welcome back to Emma. Why did you go to New York? They don't need any more freaking help. But if y'all are not familiar with Emma Mieseman, she's from Belgium. She's been in the league for quite some time, has not played officially since 2022. Helped the Mystics win a WNBA championship in 2019, where she was named finals MVP. So she has decided to make her very cute and dramatic return with the defending champs. So, and also,
I love that for her. If I'm returning with the best.
I'm returning with the best. And more fun stuff for the Liberty. Jonquel Jones is returning. So, a league MVP at that. So,
and a finals MVP.
MVP. So we now have, 3 finals MVPs, 2 MVPs on one team. Who allowed this to happen? Allegedly, she was.
Does that qualify as a super team?
This would be the literal definition of a super team, in my opinion.
Okay.
Allegedly, she was also looking at Phoenix and the Lynx. So Emma really said, I'm not coming back here until y'all put me on a good team. So make it happen. And they put her on the best team in the league, which I know the record says otherwise. I do think the Liberty are the best team in the league right now over the Minnesota Lynx. Is that I don't think that's a hot take. Is it a hot take?
I don't think that's a hot take. As Yana said, you can't say that anybody's the best if they're not the champ. So that's not a hot take. It's not a hot take. They just won the championship.
Okay. Good. Okay. Great. Okay. I wasn't trying to, upset nobody. But I will say, I looked at the power rankings today and they put the Fever above us. And I'm going to only say that it's recency bias because they came to Seattle and smacked us. So I'm going to say that's why they snuck them above us in the power rankings. But right now, I think it's Minnesota, New York, Phoenix, Indiana, us. Which I'm like, how did Indiana? Because they won. Yeah, very much recency bias. Won the Commissioner's Cup.
They won the Commissioner's Cup without Caitlin.
Yeah.
They beat y'all. So they're taking those 2 things. And it's the Fever. So
I'm like, I was reading it and I was like, okay. What? Shit, above us and Atlanta and the Mystics and the Aces. Like, they put them above a lot of good teams. So, I mean, shout out to the Fever because they're still 500. It's just like we said before, like, we're just not used to seeing, we're not used to seeing an Aces team like this. This is not new territory for them, though. This is where quite literally where they started, like this. So,
right,
real OG Aces fans know what it's like to not win a lot. But like Asia said, she's like, we spoiled our fans. Like, this is not, you guys are not going to get this super dominant team every single year. Like, our league is too talented for that. But the new Aces fans are probably like, what is this? What is going on? What is happening? But the OG fans who've been with them through the trenches when they first got to Vegas and when they was racking up these number one picks, like, they know what this feels like. So they're going
It
to
took
be
the Liberty
fine.
forever to win a championship. That's sports. It's ebbs and
literally-
flows. Things happen. In every single league, there's dynasties and they do incredible and then they have down years. Like it just happens. But I will say that there are certain franchises in sports where they do set the standard so high, and players like Asia, where they do set the standard so high that the standard then becomes championship. And that's just the standard.
That's the standard.
And so their fans aren't spoiled. That's what they've seen, and that's what they've grown accustomed to, and that's the standard now. So,
and you know what's crazy? I would say Vegas right now, like, that's the only team in the entire league where it's like championship or bust. I feel like, obviously with the Liberty, you want to repeat, you're at the top of the league. But repeating is very hard to do. So if they don't repeat, people won't be like, oh, they are horrible. Like, they aren't who they say they are. Because repeating as a champion is very hard. Now, when you do that repeat, which Vegas is the only team that's done it in like 20 years or something, like, then you become a standard. And then when you start racking up championships like the Lynx did in 2011 to 2017, then you become a dynasty. And then that's when you get that expectation of, we need a championship. Because I remember my first year in Minnesota was 2018. So they were very much still in that championship or nothing type energy. But then that was also the year that Maya Moore pieced out. So that mentality has kind of shifted. And now they're starting to get back to that. Seattle was that for a little bit when they won their few championships. Vegas, like I said. LA also, when they were in those battles with the Lynx, when the Lynx were winning, it was like the Lynx, then the Sparks, then the Lynx, then the Fever, then the Lynx, then the Sparks again. So it was like, there was a time where championships were the standard for multiple teams. And we're not there yet. And I want us to get back there. I want us to have multiple teams in our league that are primed to win a championship, that are expected to win a championship, because that leads to more investment from your ownership, investment from your city, investment from your fans. Like, it's all... Guys, we are in a sports ecosystem. We all need each other to survive and thrive. So everything is important. And I'm really excited for this second half of the season, because I think the Las Vegas Aces are going to turn a corner. I think that the top 5 teams are going to have some separation. And I do think that at least one of these bottom teams are going to have like a streak of wins that might get them close to the playoffs or even in the playoffs. What team it is, I don't know. I'm going to report back next week after we get some of these games. Like, we're about to see Chicago for the first time this week. We're going back to Connecticut again this week, and we play DC again in DC. So those are 2 out of those 3 teams are considered bottom of the league teams, but very talented, very primed for some wins. And it's hard to play against teams that don't really have anything to lose, you know? You have to come correct against those teams, especially when they're at home, because that's where they'll get you at home. When you come in, if you come in sleeping on them or not taking them as serious, they're going to punch you in the mouth. So I'm excited.
That. Well, hopefully y'all take care of business as you should.
Mm-hmm.
Rooting for you guys. Thanks. This was a great episode. We said we're going to keep it short, but we got into the Valkyries and the Storm and everything. And then we talked about CBA combos and everything going on. So just make sure you tune into next week's episode of Full Circle. Follow us on social media. And thank you so much for listening.
Bye, y'all.